I need room. I need room for activity here. I'm gonna get the selfie for the gram.
Yeah, we got to do a selfie for the gram.
Got to do it for the gram.
If I can get the beers and us in here, but we'll try. Level. Beautiful. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Josh.
And this is the PUDs Podcast. All right, man. So what's up? What are we doing here? There's a lot of beer on the table. I'm excited.
Yes. Finally, we're here. We're not having one beer. We're having 8 beers, and it's a tasting, and it's classy. So
classy in our plastic solo cups.
So what we're doing here, we're gonna do a beer ranking. It's a blind taste test.
Pumpkin beer.
Pumpkin beer.
Yep.
Blind taste test. A ranking, and we're going to also try to attempt to guess what beer it is. So we have 8 beers here, and basically we're going to rank them 1 through 8. We do not know what beer is in which cup.
Yeah, we just so you don't think there's any collusion going on, we had our lovely wives downstairs pour these beers and also label the breweries. I actually picked out, it's a mix of beers that me and Josh picked out. I've had many of them before, but not this year. Some of them I haven't had at all. I think Josh probably hasn't had a good chunk of these.
Probably out of the 8, I've probably had 3. So.
Yeah. So basically we're splitting these. Like he said, we're going to try to guess which beer is which as part of the fun of it, who's making which. That way it could be funny if we like shit on a beer and I'm like, that's definitely the Jacko Pumpkin by Sam Adams. And then I'm eating my own words because it's actually not that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to just overall rank what's our favorite. So keeping you beer connoisseurs abreast of what our favorite pumpkin ale is available in the New England area. And these are mixed too. Like some of them are like 4 or 5% pumpkin ales. There's a couple Imperials in here that are probably sitting around 8%. I would say the first thing I'm noting is that they all look pretty orangey.
Yeah. But they're actually, none of them I don't think are the exact same shade.
No, they're all lovely shades of amber and orange.
Looking at the lacing on a couple of these, I think I know which ones are the Imperials.
Yeah. So I guess we might as well get down to it. And then we have one list that Ash wrote out the actual, like the rankings. We just have the cups basically numbered, so we'll know which is which. And then we have one of just the breweries so that we can try to guess which is which.
Yep. So we'll rank them by our personal rankings. And then, we'll try to guess. Yeah. We're going to try to guess which beer belongs to which brewery and what the name of the beer is and all that. So
and we figured this would be perfect SPUDs material.
Yeah,
so
it's a good spud.
Just good SPUDs. I think we're going to maybe just talk about some Halloween, maybe some spooky stories.
Fall time.
Stuff like that.
Fall time, enjoy a pumpkin beer. Like I said it before, pumpkin belongs in beer.
Yeah.
I enjoy a good
pumpkin
beer.
And beer. Perfect relationship.
Yeah.
So you want to kick this off with number 1?
Yeah, we'll start with number 1.
All right.
Beer number 1.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Virtual
clink,
cheers.
Clink.
I don't want to leave my chair right now.
There's going to be a lot of slurping on this podcast.
Huh. It's pretty plain.
Yeah. Very, very uninspiring. Number 1.
I think that's
super light.
I think that's the Sam's Jack of Pumpkin.
Yeah, it's super light.
This is not going high on my list.
Yeah, I'm actually going to probably put this probably at number 8 on my list.
It's pretty low.
We'll see if it moves, but
yep. Agreed.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think
1 is Sam's Jacko Pumpkin.
I agree with you. You can get the little bit of like the cinnamon.
It's not awful, but it'd be a good golf beer. Again, we'll see if it's the Jacko or not. Stay tuned.
You can get a little bit of the cinnamon and the nutmeg. But besides that, there's really not much else going on there.
No.
It's
uninteresting.
Yeah, very lagery.
All right, so you ever heard of the haunted hitchhiker of Route 44? It's a Rehoboth story.
No, I haven't.
So it's Rehoboth Seekonk, but so basically there's a legend that if you're around the on 44 around the Rehoboth Seekonk line and you're by yourself, there's been reports over the years that people see this red-headed hitchhiker that's wearing like sort of like beat up flannel and like jeans and stuff.
Yeah.
And like people speculate like maybe he's like a ghost of someone that died on 44 or like a lost farmer or something like that. But some of the stories are pretty wild though. Like people say that he'll like appear in your seat if you're like by yourself and just like be sitting there and then he just disappears. Ooh. Or that his face will actually like appear in your rearview mirror and things 44? Like that. On 44 in that specific spot on 44.
Wow.
So that's pretty.
They call it the Rehoboth haunted hitchhiker.
Yeah, if you like, yeah.
And would you say he's wearing flannel?
Yeah, and I think he has red hair. Yeah, if you look at it, it's like, if you actually look more into it, it's one of those things where it's super legend because it's like hearsay about like nobody directly says that they've actually seen him.
Yeah,
it's always like my cousin's uncle's friend's step aunt has seen the haunted hitchhiker at 44, but Rehoboth
urban legend.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this?
Well, just New England. I have not seen him, and I've driven past that line many times. Maybe not as much by myself, though. I do know that'd be pretty freaky if someone appeared in your seat while you were just going back.
Yeah. I don't know if Nick said this at the beginning, so while we're doing this, we're going to enjoy the beers, and we're going to tell some spooky stories, and we're going to rank them. It's just what we do.
We're just flying by the seat of our pants, drinking some pumpkin beers.
Yeah.
This was a great idea, Josh.
Thanks, man. I mean, what better way to drink beer than to do a ranking, have 8 of them.
This is an easy sipper, too. Not like chugging this, but it's like...
Yeah. I'm not going to finish it because I want to I don't want to be altered when I have to actually do my ranking. But
I'm gonna finish this one.
This one's on...
I'm just like, meh.
Yeah, this one's
right now.
This one's 8 for me.
So overall feelings, number 1, probably the worst pumpkin beer. We'll see who it is. I speculate it's Sam's.
Yeah. There's not much flavor to it besides the cinnamon and nutmeg.
No, it's funny making, because I've made pumpkin beer too before. And I think a lot of people think they think of that pumpkin flavor, but really it's the spices that give that pumpkin
allspice and all that crap.
Yeah, that kind of gives it the flavor to it.
It's sweet. That one was sweet. It was
I'm not a big fan.
Super yellowy,
All right,
let's go on to number 2.
Alrighty.
This one's a little darker. I got a little more faith in this one.
It smells really good.
Yeah. Let's see what it's all about. Ooh, that one's been aged in something.
It almost does taste like it's aged.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than the other one.
It's way less sweet.
Yeah, it tastes a lot boozier.
Way less sweet. Yeah.
I suspect that this is one of our Imperial pumpkins.
You're gonna have to remind me which one are the Imperials because I didn't.
Just Imperial with any beer. I think it comes from the British Empire in general when they'd ship beer places they'd actually have to mix more malt in it and more hops and stuff, which makes more alcohol, which makes it more resilient towards like going bad. Like the higher the alcohol content, something it's like wine, like it won't go bad.
Right.
So I believe that's where the term Imperial, but if you see like Imperial IPA, Imperial pumpkin ale, like anything, it generally means it's like the high octane version of it. It's not like the 4%. Like I would say most Imperials you're going to see are like 7 or 8%. Yeah. I'm going to guess.
You got to tell me which ones. Yeah. I don't know which one on this list is an Imperial though.
Okay. So the Greater Good, by name, the Greater Good 603. We'll put a list up too of the actual beers. I know we're mentioning verbally, so it might be a little tough to follow along. But I'm fairly certain that the 603 and the Greater Good, at least, are Imperial pumpkin ales.
I think this one's the Greater Good.
I think this is Greater Good as well.
Yeah.
Greater Good, they're a really good brewery. I like a lot of their beers. I don't drink as much of them as I probably used to just because they're really heavy beers. A lot of them are high ABV. Greater Good actually specializes in like Imperial ales.
Okay.
So they specifically make like crazy IPAs, any type pumpkin ales, like anything like that, but they're all like 7% or higher beers.
Yeah, that's where I'm at on this one. It feels like
you can just smell you can smell the booziness.
Yeah.
And it also might, like you said, it almost smells like bourbony. I don't know if it's maybe they're aged in bourbon barrels or something.
It tastes a little bourbon barrel.
So beer number 2 is going above beer number 1, that's for sure. I'm gonna guess this is Greater Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the 4 spot for now to be safe because I can always move.
Yeah,
I can always move it up or down if I want. Yeah, while we're sipping on this one,
I'm gonna save some of that one. That one's not all going down.
That one, not gonna crush that one. Well, when we get into the next one, I'll tell you a story of one of my true stories.
Cool. I have a couple.
Yeah.
I have a couple stories. All creepy stories. So what's number 3?
Let's try number 3. Oh, number 3 might be the Jacko Pumpkin. I'm not.
No, I think the Jacko Pumpkin's too. Like that's heavier than number 1 though.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not a big fan of that one.
It's not good.
I actually think I like number 1 better than that.
That one's not good because
I haven't.
It has the same.
I think this is the Mighty Squirrel one.
Yeah, I haven't had the Mighty Squirrel before.
Neither have I. But that's why I'm pretty sure it's actually I think that. So I want to clarify to people I'm not like a beer expert, but I think I've had just over the years. I think I've had a lot of these. I've never had the Mighty Squirrel one before. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one.
I've never had the Dogfish head, but I think that's the Dogfish head.
You might be right, actually.
Yeah, I think that's the Dogfish.
Dogfish head is going downhill if that is Dogfish head.
Yeah,
three is going to go lower.
It doesn't. Because one had the cinnamon nutmeg.
It had sweetness to it too.
Yeah, sweetness to it. This one's just bitter and like no flavor.
It tastes like it has that beer flavor to it. Like, you know what I mean? Where it just tastes like beer. It does.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times that depends on the malt and stuff, the ingredients they use fundamentally, because it just doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm
going with Dogfish head. I think they're trying to be fancy. You go with whatever.
I'm going to go with Mighty Squirrel.
Yeah.
I think you might be right though. Dogfish head, I mean, most people, if you pay attention to beer at all, they got bought out by, they did like a deal with Boston Beer Company that owns Sam's and stuff, because I think they figured they could bring in some clientele that Sam's was trying to get with sort of their off-centered ales or whatever the hell their terminology is. I think it's funny because apparently they were one of the original craft breweries, but like there's been a bunch in New England that have been around. Dogfish head, I think, is from Delaware originally. But like, there's ones like Long Trail that have been around here that have been independent craft breweries like forever.
Right.
So they kind of always, I think they marketed themselves real well. I'm not trying to criticize all their beer. Like I like Dogfish 120 and some of their crazier beers, but them selling to Sam's, that I think there's been a decrease in quality.
Right. They got. Everybody loves like the big ones are like the 60-minute IPA, 90-minute
the IPAs. That's what they're. But they've made some pretty crazy ones. Like I think one of the crazier beers I've ever had. In general was by them, and it was actually like a white Belgian quad. This was like years ago, like 10 years ago probably.
Yeah.
So I remember it was on the 4th at Ash's house, and like Tony had some, and he's like, this is wild. But it was like a Belgian ale, like aged in Cabernet barrels. Yeah. And it was like not very settling on the stomach. Like it was weird. Like it tasted good, but then it was like wine flavored. And it was like, it was creative, but I don't
feels
know.
like too much.
It was too much.
You don't have to do that much.
I think that's a big deal. That's a theme for me with, I think when I think of them, I think a lot of their old 750 milliliter bottles they used to make that were just really like too off the wall. I like beer. I love beer a lot. Josh can attest to that.
Yeah.
Like any types of beer.
You brew your own beer.
And I brew my own beer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on Dogfish head.
Yeah, I definitely like one better than that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the spooky story?
I don't drink any more of that number 3. It's not.
Yeah, that's gonna stay. Really Excuse me. Good. There's gonna be some mic burping tonight. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Wolf Island Road in Mattapoisett?
No, I have not.
So there's this cemetery in the middle of Wolf Island Road in Mattapoisett that they say is like super haunted, has like super paranormal activity and stuff like that happening there. I guess a guy, I don't know when, but hung himself from one of the trees behind the cemetery over there. It's a small cemetery, like old cemetery, or it's
like
just randomly in the middle of this road, an old cemetery, and so you hear all these stories and things like that. So one time in high school we went down there, like this time of year, October. We drove down there and just like kind of putzed around the cemetery. And I remember standing in the road. my buddy was doing like some stupid nonsense. I think like jumping around and trying to like get things riled up. And I was standing in the road and I was looking up the road and there was this random orb just floating
That's pretty crazy.
on the other side of the woods. And like it was just us out there. We didn't have flashlights or anything like that. So there's nothing that like could have been making that light. And it just kind of floated and then it just like disappeared.
That's wild.
Yeah, and it was super
Well, how long ago was that?
Oh, I was in high school.
Okay,
so
high school. So
probably like junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Just doing random nonsense like for no reason. Like it was just.
I was like I'm not that I wouldn't say I'm super into paranormal stuff, but I definitely like all that stuff.
I think once you open yourself up to it, like you're more susceptible.
I don't get super open with it like some people do, but
if you're going and searching it out, you're gonna find. If you're looking for it, I'm sure you're gonna find something.
Yeah,
but that's not for me.
Want to move on to number 4, and I'll tell a spooky story.
Let's go to number 4.
All right, what do we?
This one is
this one looks good.
This one is.
I'm anticipating this one.
Oh, it smells
good too.
It smells really good. It almost has like a banana bread smell to it. I don't know. I'm getting a little banana bread.
I'm gonna swap my number 3 to Worm. I think that might be the Reklis.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's
it's better than the last one.
Yeah.
I put it, I think, between 2, probably after 2.
Yeah, that's why I saved a little bit so I can go back and retry the other ones.
That's gonna go between 2 and 1.
Hold on, let me do a little palate cleanse here with some water.
That's a good idea. Trying to be sophisticated over here.
All right, let's see. Let's give it an honest judge.
It's very drinkable.
Yeah, that's definitely got a high percentage in it, I think.
I'm gonna go with Reklis for that.
So you think that's the Jacaro, right?
Yeah,
from Reklis?
yeah, I think that's Jacaro. We'll see. So I had. Oh,
you had this one before? Have you had that one before?
No, I just got a can of it because I saw it and I'm like, this will be perfect for our beer tasting. So one of my spooky stories I have is that there was a house that my family rented. I stayed at in the summer on Newfound Lake in Alexandria in New Hampshire. Probably like 7 or 8 times we stayed there. And like everybody, almost, I think Ash didn't, but almost everybody that stayed there, which saying a lot because like over the years, like 10, 12 different people, almost everybody had some sort of weird spooky experience that happened.
Yeah.
My uncle had seen someone sitting on a bench in the front yard one morning, like early in the morning, 4 or 5 a.m. Apparently, someone that was like dressed in like not like old clothing, but like 50s, 60s, like not like medieval or colonial, like that old.
No corsets.
I had one, the one that sticks out in my mind, other than just some certain weird things that happened. There was a night that I was in the kitchen, like getting some water before bed. And I just assumed, like, we're in a house with, like, my aunt and my dad and stuff and, like, some other people. So, like, I just assumed someone was, like, in the kitchen with me, like, getting something. And I went to turn to talk to someone, like, oh, like, it was a really fun day today. The weather ended up being nice, like, some whatever mundane kind of point of conversation. I turned and there was nobody there at all. And I swear to God, someone was in the kitchen with me for, like, 5 or 10 minutes while I was doing stuff. It was very...
When was this?
I probably was like 15 or 16, something like that. But yeah, like it would be like if I was sitting, if like we were just in the same room but not talking, like, you can just tell, like in some, you can tell someone else's. It was like that. Yeah. And then I went to say something. I was like, oh, there's nobody here. And everybody else in the house was actually in their own bedrooms asleep.
Yeah.
My dad had heard the piano play. There was an old piano down at night.
Jeez.
A couple of times, allegedly.
Oh, my Lord.
That was out of tune, like super old piano that nobody had heard ever play. Like he had heard it playing in the middle of the night, or swear he heard piano music, like faint piano music downstairs because our bedrooms were upstairs. A lot of weird stuff like that. I know there was something we heard from one of the neighbors that I think it was around the 20s or 30s that there was a young girl that had drowned in the lake on that side, basically near the beach. And, like a super tragic thing. Like she was like a young kid died. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, but there was definitely, and I think too, like this house was just really old. It was from like the 30s, not really old, but 30s, 40s, like I'd been around there a lot of while. I think a lot of different people staying in there. I feel like the house had seen a lot of different things. Like it had a vibe. Like it wasn't like a scary vibe. It wasn't like a scary vibe. Like I'd qualify. It's never like I was afraid.
Musty.
I was never afraid sleeping there or anything like that. But it just was. There was something off about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
Yeah. That. How many times did you stay there? Just the one time?
No, like 7 or 8 times probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah, it was like nobody there was nothing ever like terrifying that happened there. It was just weird stuff would happen. That was kind of just different. Yeah, the thing in the kit, that was still like, I mean, I can't explain, and this is before God knows I like to have beer and like do that and stuff, but this was before I was a teenager. I wasn't doing anything. Yeah. It was just me at night like getting some Gatorade or something out of the fridge and be like, hey, I went to turn to my aunt to say something because I just assumed it was her and it wasn't her. There's nobody there.
Eesh.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to stay there again now we're talking about it.
Where was it?
It was in Alexandria, New Hampshire on Newfound Lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The beautiful, beautiful spot. We had a lot of fun times in that house. But yeah, it was just weird stuff. Spooky.
Weird vibes. Spooky vibes.
Spooky.
It's interesting. The ghosts.
All right.
You want to move on to number 5?
Yeah, move on to number 5.
Yeah, that number 4 was not for me.
It's not. Like I think I still like 2 the best.
Yeah, number 4 is in the middle of the road for me.
All right, so we're moving on to number 5. I think this is Pumpking.
This one's got some nutty to it.
That's Pumpking.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty sure. Which, I mean, will solidly go above 1. I think it's Pumpking.
Yeah, it is. I like Pumpking.
It's good. I don't think it's as good as it used to be.
I'm gonna move that to my number 1 spot for right now.
Okay.
It is my favorite pumpkin beer. And
it's tough to beat.
Like I said, some of these I haven't tried. And it's just a good balance because we've had ones that have been sweet now. We've had ones that have been bitter. We've had ones that have been heavier on the alcohol content. I think it's a good balance. It's sweet. It's what is it, 8%? Something. I
think it's like 7. It's funny, and I've actually looked at this with friends who have older bottles, but the ABV has gone down over the years.
Yeah. Probably get more popular, get more people to
it costs more money to make beer with more alcohol in it, so that's probably why. I mean, it's good. I'm glad they make a ton of it, because I remember it used to be one of those that was like tough to find.
Yeah.
I can remember Pumpkinhead being tough to find at one point.
I think it's just
Shipyard Pumpkinhead for anybody that doesn't get it.
Yeah.
But
I think it just has the good balance.
Yeah. Do you like Warlock they make?
I like Warlock.
Yeah. That's more of like a smoky
Southern
stout.
Tier they do some good stuff.
I almost picked up they have a Rum King. That's like a rum barrel aged version of this, but I figured we already had Pumpking, so try some other different ones.
They got like the cola one too. It's weird. Did you try the caramel one?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
It wasn't very caramel.
No, it was like actually way more bitter than I expected. It was pretty bitter for something that's supposed to have caramel, which is like
it wasn't
you think
very
it's going to be super sweet and pumpkin-y, and it was just like
getting very burpy over it. That's why we don't drink beer while we do podcasts. No kidding. Not that much.
No kidding.
Just like it was just an hour of Nick and Josh burping all the time.
It's good for the listeners. Yeah. They like to hear us burp.
Like to hear all the gastro,
the mouth sounds,
the gastrointestinal stuff.
It's good for ASMR. The mouth sounds. Don't get weird.
Hear that fizz? So yeah, that was probably one of those weirder experiences I've had in my life. There was a cemetery by my parents' house that I grew up near that I used to get out of work at the Beats place at like 10:30 at night, and I'd go running afterwards, and I swear I saw like a shadowy figure like one night. It was enough that I ran really quickly.
See, I haven't had too many.
Yeah. I haven't had a lot. That's like probably the main 2 I'd say that were just, and those are like when people say they're unexplainable, like it was just weird. It's like the one in Alexandria was like if I was sitting with you and then you left and I didn't realize that and I just started talking, it was that weird. Right. Like I was very much like that was strange, and I didn't even know anything till like I started to talk to my dad and my uncle, and like the thing is my mom, love you mom, but like Meme Claire, but she gets super freaked out about stuff. So if you told her the next day that happened, she'd be like, we need to leave. But like it wasn't until a little while later, and my aunt had something happen. Like almost all of us over the years had, even people that stayed a couple nights had something weird happen.
Yeah, see, I haven't had, and I'm not looking. Trust me.
No, I'm not looking. I'm not looking either
for any of these experiences.
I'm not looking either.
Like, I'm not looking for any.
I think they just happen.
Like, but like, I haven't had too many, but the ones that I have had, like, have stuck out to me.
Yeah, like seeing an orb's pretty distinct.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to describe that.
There was another time that it was in my house, and I didn't like the house I grew up in. I didn't see anything spooky, anything like that. It was never anything weird. It was an older house, but nothing crazy ever happened there besides like me destroying 2 gallons of ice cream in one night. But
terrifying.
Yeah, that is scary, because then your dad comes looking, where's my ice cream, with the belt.
Like, I don't know.
That was scary. But no, so when we were younger, so I had a mattress. I slept on the floor. My brother had a mattress on a box spring, and he slept on that mattress, but they were perpendicular, connecting.
Okay.
Like, there was no frame. It was just mattresses.
Yeah.
So my bed was on the floor. So I would sleep with my feet facing my brother's head on his mattress, and then he would just sleep. It was like a big L.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So one night I fell asleep like that. I swear I fell asleep like this. So my feet are facing my brother's head. So in the middle of the night, I feel somebody shaking my feet.
Yeah.
And shaking my feet. And I'm like, hey, cut it out.
Yeah.
And it stops for a minute or two. And then it starts again. Somebody's like pushing my feet or whatever.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, cut it out. And I get up to look, and there's this big, what I think is a big shadowy figure.
Yeah.
Standing over me. And I turn back around, and I just go under the covers, and I just don't move.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is somebody in my room? The first thing is, I'm like, burglar. I'm in the middle of New Bedford. Somebody's in my room. Like, I'm going to get touched in my no-no zone. That's no good.
Yeah, no, that's
Or
bad.
I'm going to get stabbed.
Yeah.
Or shot. So finally I get enough bravery to go and try to grab this thing.
Yeah.
When I grab it, I hit the wall, and it's my curtains.
Oh.
But I'm facing the opposite way of the way I fell asleep. So my feet...
Yeah, that's weird.
So there was where I would put my head, there was a bureau and the wall.
Yeah.
So I'd be in between that, and my feet would be facing my brother's bed.
Yeah.
So now I flipped all the way around. So my head was where my brother's head would be, and my feet were in between a bureau and the wall. So there was no way that anybody could be touching my feet, dude.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was super weird.
That's weird.
It was super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that was one of the scariest things that ever happened to me. And I'm like...
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, still to this day, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, there's no way that anybody could be in that area, because it was a long bureau and just the wall there, the corner of the room. So there's not.
That's kind of strange. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's funny because I do feel like if you got like a bunch of people in a room and we're like, you got people to just open up without judgment, like a lot of people have had similar. Like, I do believe that there's some sort of energy or things like that, like not necessarily harmful or trying to scare you, but I do think there is something out. But yeah, there has to be something. I mean, I think me and you are definitely in agreement. Just where we are in life, there's got to be something beyond like this.
Oh, I think there's
yeah.
Oh yeah. I believe in God. I believe in, but that means I also have to believe in the devil, right? So
yeah, exactly.
There's things where
I think when people go looking for some of that shit, like you shouldn't.
Right. When you go looking for it, it'll find you because
if you want to go look for it.
Right. Exactly. So, but I don't go looking for it. That's why I don't go looking for it, because that's it's no fun.
There's so even this is another Rehoboth thing, but up and literally probably 2 or 3 miles from where we are now is Anawan Rock, which is also on 44. But that's actually the spot where King Philip's War ended. I don't know forgive me listeners for not knowing the time off the top of my head, what year that was. But that was basically one of the bigger wars between the Indians and the colonists and stuff, the Native Americans, I should say. And it actually ended on a rock not too far up the street from here, where the last of the holdouts were. It's after King Philip died, and whoever his basically the next person in charge was, and the colonists and basically the army and stuff captured them and promised them that they wouldn't kill them and stuff, and then they killed all of them. And like that goes into like the whole big thing of like the Bridgewater Triangle and stuff like that. A lot of people think like it originated because the colonists killing the Indians and promising them like whatever. And
the Bridgewater Triangle is like a big thing.
It is.
It's like a big thing around here. People love to.
Well, we're in the Bridgewater Triangle.
People love to talk about the Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah.
Especially at Bridgewater State.
But that's a historic. Like I've been there before. I didn't think it was particular. Would I go there at night in the dark by myself and be like, hey, what's happening? Like say the people's names and stuff? No. But like it does exist. It's right up the street. But that's, I guess back in that time, the land was cleared so much in fields and stuff that you could actually see Narragansett Bay from where that is, because it's like kind of a rocky outcropping.
Right.
And Rehoboth, it's like 80 feet high, which is like the top of the world in Rehoboth because nothing's that tall. But yeah, man. All right.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah, we're moving on to number 6. Number 5, I like. I mean, again, I think it's just Pumpking. So I'm sipping this one down. I'm not saving this one.
Yeah, I finished that off. It's like I said, it's my favorite.
Number 2, balance. I think I still got number 2 and the other one, 4. 4 was no good.
All right, this from the rest on.
Or rather, 3 was no good. 3 was definitely the least favorite
that's
stuff.
The worst.
Sorry.
From the rest on, no. We got to say it at the same time what we think it is.
Okay.
All right. Because I don't want to be influenced.
Okay.
I don't want to be influenced by you anymore.
Okay.
Number 6. Here we go. I think I know what this is. You ready? We'll say the name of the beer.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Fresh Patch.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
I know.
I wasn't sure if you were going to say that, but I think
good.
that is Fresh Patch.
We're pretty good. I think it is. That it tastes very Wormtowny.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to put that above 1 probably, but like, no, I think I liked most of the other ones better.
I think I'm going to move 2 up on my board to maybe like 2.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, because we have the cups numbered, Josh is actually putting his cups in the order of stuff. I'm just writing them on a notepad. I'm just rearranging stuff.
I'm a visual.
You probably could break down our personalities little bit by that.
I have ADD, so
he just
definitely undiagnosed.
He likes touching the cups
and
and moving them around.
Them, moving them around like chess pieces.
It's very stimulating.
Yeah, really. I'm so stimulated right now. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad by any means.
No. Wormtown's good. I mean, there be hoppy ale. I feel like you see everywhere around here.
It's not super sweet.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's not as good as Pumpking. But
it's not bad. I haven't been to their brewery either. They're in Worcester. I don't know why Wormtown's slang for Worcester.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're in Worcester. Greater Good's actually around Worcester too.
I didn't know
so that. Actually, if you go to the new Woo Socks, like you can get like Greater Good beers there,
really?
Which seems crazy. God knows how much they cost.
We gotta do a live show at a brewery.
We should do that.
We should get Berkeley.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't grab any Berkeley pumpkins.
No, I just didn't make it over there.
It's only like 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah, no.
And the kid couldn't.
I've been going to New Hampshire too much.
Yeah, too much traveling out of the state.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's good. It's hazy.
It's very drinkable.
Yeah, it's definitely drinkable for sure. It's not too heavy.
Yeah, that's good.
It's not too sweet. It's not bitter at all. Well, a little bit of bitter.
So, speaking of looking for beers out of the state, there's a shout out to this place. It's called East Branch Organics in Keene Valley, New York. But they basically, it's my perfect spot because it's a garden shop and they sell beer, craft beer.
So you can buy tomatoes and beer?
Yeah, literally. And actually I have a bush in our yard that I picked up there. But I was actually looking up there because they have just a giant selection of craft beer and like single cans and stuff. It's a little pricey, but it's like it is what it is. But not a lot of pumpkin beer. I almost feel like with pumpkin beer, it's like it's almost becoming like it's like the decorations at Home Depot now. It's like you got to go like 2 weeks before it gets into the thick of it for that season before to find pumpkin beer.
Dude, Walmart's already like...
Oh, I'm sure they're
Christmas,
like...
full Christmas. They've been in full Christmas mode for 2 weeks.
I'm sure.
2 weeks, dude.
All right. Yeah.
That's like the beginning of October.
I have
they
a mini.
The trees up.
I want your thoughts on this too, because I'm sure you've seen it too this year. But what's up with the giant skeletons? Does everybody have a giant skeleton this year?
Thing. Yeah.
It is literally a big thing.
Yeah, it's a big thing. It's stupid because
they're enormous.
Yeah.
And also everybody has them.
I have a coworker that has a giant skeleton.
Like a 16
they like
footer.
refuse to put it inside. And they're like, "Oh, it looks stupid because it's a Halloween decoration." I'm like, "Well, just decorate it with put a Santa hat on. It's a Christmas decoration."
I want to make it clear too. Like I decorate our yard to some degree as well. Yeah. I actually have a plastic skeleton coming in from Amazon. It's not a giant one though. It's like a 4 foot.
Listen,
a 4 footer.
You're asking the wrong guy because I think it's kind of cool. I think the giant skeleton's kind of cool. It's a little. It's definitely excessive.
It's right up with those the blow up things.
You don't like the blow up things?
Not a lot of them. I like the Jack Skellington ones.
For the listeners, Josh has a blow up spider in his yard.
I'm sorry.
But no, I'm into.
You told me you thought the Blair Witch was an awful movie. Now we're even. No, I don't think they're all awful. There's some though that's like I've seen a neighbor around here that just has like a giant blow up, like it's almost like Puff the Magic Dragon looking thing, and I'm like that just looks like
it's just
gaudy.
A dragon.
Yeah, it looks gaudy, and it's like
whatever.
It's not very scary.
You're a purist.
There's other people that drove out an old rusted Ford pickup truck into a field and are shining like a red light on it, and they painted like a face on the truck.
Yeah,
it looks pretty awesome.
See,
they have a red light shining on in the middle of the night. It's pretty scary.
Your issue is you're a decoration purist.
Yeah,
you like your decoration simple.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
you're like.
I do want to get a blow up Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for our yard for Christmas.
Oh, Mr. Blow-Ups doesn't want me to have a blow-up.
So yes, I'm being I realize the hypocrisy of my statement, but Ashley's not going to listen to this, so she won't know. I'm going to say Rylan ordered it. She wanted it.
Is it like a snow globe? Like the snow globe deal?
I don't think I want the snow globe one, just like the big blow-up one.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm gonna put it in like the woods though.
It's fun, dude.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It is. Yeah,
it's
whatever you. I just like people decorating in general because I feel like the holidays. It's like
you just love a good jack-o'-lantern. That's your issue.
I do.
You're a purist. You like the pure, whatever you can make with your hands decorations. I saw your lights on the
swing set.
The swing set. It looks nice. Jeremiah loved it. The first thing he did is come in and looked at the Halloween window cleanings.
Oh, I put the lights on early because I knew he was coming.
He loves Halloween not for the candy, but because he can go to all the houses and look at all the decorations. Cool. And he has to step up to them and touch them to make sure they're not real. That's how he trick-or-treats. Are you coming trick-or-treating with us this year?
Yes, I believe that's the plan.
So get ready for it because he's going to touch every decoration. Yeah. It's fun. Yeah. It's fun. He loves it.
It's good to, again, I think it's just cool when just people are into Halloween.
Yeah. All right, you ready for number 7?
I guess so.
You're going to finish number 6?
Give me 1 second.
And then I'll tell my next spooky story.
Ooh. So me and Ash kept doing that because like we keep doing that to Rylan with, we have like the stickers and stuff you put on the windows, but like we'll be like, ooh, spooky. And she like laughs.
It's
so that's why we keep doing that.
The ghosts.
All the ghosts. The scary things.
I love saying that. It's my favorite line from I Think You Should Leave. Melissa and I went to Salem last year to do the one of the tours.
Yep.
And I just kept whispering in her ear the entire time. It's interesting, the ghosts.
She really must love you.
She does love me. No, all right, let's go on to number 7.
All right.
Let's see what we got. Ooh, this one smells really, really boozy.
I don't know.
That's not as...
I think that's the Dogfish. Oh, I was probably supposed to wait. You
already
right. Picked Dogfish.
You might be right.
That's going to go... I think it's still above 1 because I respect the fact that it has more body than number 1. But again, the flavor on it. It could just be because we've drank 7 different pumpkin beers in rapid succession.
Yeah. But I've been doing palate cleanses, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've been swishing that water around real good. between every single
We're
one.
not drinking one beer. We're drinking 8 beers.
Yeah.
It's a taste.
I want to make it clear to people too. We split these. If we both literally drank 16-ounce cans and 12-ounce cans of all of these, it'd probably be a short podcast. It just would end with
me passed out on the floor.
Yeah,
pooping in my pants.
you just hear us snoring in the background.
Yeah, I think it's the Jackaroo. I think it's Reklis. And I think it's gonna
second guess. We'll figure it out.
Right into my number 3 spot. It's nice because it's another one that's not too sweet.
No, it's good.
But it has good flavor.
It has I'll say the flavor didn't impress me initially, but I feel like it's one of those you sip it a bit. It tastes very much like pumpkin though. Like it doesn't taste. It's not very sweet.
Right.
It's not very cinnamon.
Right.
Really trying to make cinnamony an adjective or adverb one day.
Cinnamony.
Yeah.
It's the taste you can see. Cinnamon toast crunch.
There you go. That's the new marketing campaign. Sponsor us.
Sponsor the pod. General Mills.
Yeah, imagine.
The biggest cereal company in the entire world.
I do that as a joke. We already blew the cover though. Just like an intro. It's like, now brought to you by Frosted Flakes.
They're great.
Are Frosted Flakes even a thing anymore?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Are they?
For sure.
I used to love Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes.
Random tangent. What's your favorite cereal?
My favorite cereal? Golden Grahams.
Interesting.
I'm a big time Golden Grahams
Interesting.
guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even a debate. It's not even a debate for me.
Yeah. I bet you couldn't guess my favorite one. I don't like cereal that much either, but
you don't like cereal?
No, I should say I haven't eaten cereal in like a long time.
What do you mean?
I just don't eat cereal.
What are you talking about?
I'm all about like Nature Valley bars and crap. I was indoctrinated by my mother eating that, but
so
it's
then
good stuff.
Are you a Special K guy?
So initially I was going to say Apple Jacks, but Special K with strawberries as an adult, that is fantastic. And actually it's funny, when I used to get it at home still or in college, like occasionally with those, sometimes the the strawberries used to be all on top, so you could just destroy the strawberries and leave nothing left. And like my mom would be like, "Where'd all the strawberries go?" And I'm like, I don't know. Guess you didn't open the top of the box.
Strawberries. There was no strawberries in here. This is just regular Special K.
Golden Grahams. Huh?
I love Golden Grahams.
They're good. They're good.
I love them. Like that is the best cereal. You can't even convince me otherwise. But I did just have the Lucky. They have like the Halloween Lucky Charms. Ooh, it's like chocolate. They're like the chocolate charms with the marshmallows.
Ooh. Yeah, that sounds good.
Something else. It's something else. I'll tell you.
I'm sure we have like pumpkin Cheerios or something downstairs.
Garbage. That's trash.
Yeah.
That's trash. Don't be afraid. I'm a big bagged cereal guy too. I like to buy the off-brand cereal that just comes in the bags.
Oh, we will get from Charlie's sometimes instead of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's like cinnamon
toasties.
Yeah, or like it's like cinnamon sliced crunchies or something like that. Like it's just like
I like the honey scooters.
Honey scooters. It's like, what's a scooter? I don't know. That sounds like it could be a cereal.
I like the Dino Bites. It's just Fruity Pebbles.
I think they really were like I'm trying to think. It wasn't Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it was like something like that.
Yeah,
it was like Cinnamon Blah Crunchies.
I think it's like cinnamon toasters.
I think it is Cinnamon Toasters.
I think
you're right.
Cinnamon Toasters.
They're not even trying to be subtle about it.
It's like the Millville brand, right?
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
They're good. It's like half price. It's like the same damn thing.
It's all in a bag.
Yeah.
You don't even have to worry about that box.
I'm sorry I took us on this. So what's the other spooky story you had? I took us on a cereal tangent. Like trying to bring us back. I'm like, what are we here for again? Why are we here?
So, Fort Tabor.
Yeah.
So I used to go to a summer camp at Fort Tabor.
In New Bedford, for those of you who don't know.
South End of New Bedford.
Old fort built for, I think it's been around since the Revolutionary War, probably. Or Civil War, at least. Anyways, I was giving a brief background.
You're the history buff now.
Pretty sure, either way, it was used as a fort for a very long time, right up into World War II in Korea, to guard New Bedford Harbor. Active fort with people actually stationed at it.
So I went to a summer camp there. And the summer camp was Camp Kennedy was outside of the forts, where where Fort Tabor starts.
Okay.
There's that little pavilion.
I got to get down there one day. I've still never been down there.
Really?
I'd probably find it pretty fascinating too. So.
Yeah. So there was a camp that they ran out of there. They had a little pavilion, a little house that they would do the camps out of. And then one day we decided we were going to explore the forts. So me, probably in middle school at that point, I'm like, oh, my mother has a tape recorder at the house. Let's bring
like
that.
Where this is going.
Let's bring that, and let's see if we can catch anything on the tape recorder. So the next day, I bring it in. We go into the big fort at the end. It's completely pitch black in there. We start walking in, and somebody asks. So somebody starts talking. We start recording. Is anybody there? Is anybody there? And they start like asking questions. We don't hear anything at the time or whatever. And then we go back out, whatever. We go have lunch, and then we go to listen to the tape recording. And so the guy asked the question, oh, is anybody there? And then you can hear something on the tape recorder start to whisper, like, and I legitimately pissed my pants. Like, I'm like, we were in there. We were in there in those forts, like where people definitely died, and caught something on the tape recorder speaking, and that was pretty creepy.
Yeah, that's creepy.
If you ever go in those forts, it's a spooky situation. Like the regular, most of the forts, they're pretty open, so you can walk up and down them or whatever, walk around. But there's the one all the way at the end of the trail, and it's like you have to go in it, and it's completely pitch black. I think they've gated it off since then.
So you can't even go in anymore.
And it was, I don't know what was going on in there, but it was not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, I know on the New England Legends, like you were mentioning on our previous podcast, they had Jeff Belanger did a thing on that, but like there's like, it's weird, like I feel like those dark places attract dark stuff.
Yeah. I mean, things
whether it's people
there.
just being like,
right,
doing heroin and shit like that. Like, I mean,
but still, if people are going there, like people are, that's what they say, right? If you're going there if everybody's going there with the same mindset, you're kind of just opening yourself up to all that stuff. Yeah. So, not for me.
Yeah,
not for me.
Agree. Yeah, you were taking part in that as a.
I was 11.
School. Yeah.
I was 11.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
so
yeah.
You got nothing better to do.
The camp counselors think I'm cool.
I can't talk at all because it's like even the cemetery at my parents' house, I went with some friends where we stayed till 3 or 4 in the morning. Just like hung out. Nothing really notable really happened. That's a really old cemetery too by my parents in Cumberland. Like there was graves from like the Spanish-American War and pretty far back.
Spooky.
Yeah.
All right, man. We're down to the last one.
All right.
Number 8. You ready?
I hope this is the 603 because this is like what I've been like sort of banking my ranking on and everything.
We're about to find out.
It's definitely dark.
It's the dark. It's pretty almost as
four is.
Yeah, it's almost as dark as number 4.
But 4 is like, I don't know.
It's good lacing.
Yeah. It's very tough to judge these beers. I feel like every one that we stack on that we drink, it's just like it makes it harder to judge like which is which.
It's not. It's that one's gonna be middle of the road for me, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's a middle of the road for you?
That's gonna be a middle of the road for me.
Yeah, I think my rankings and what I judged are completely wrong. That's the vibe I'm getting. But again, doing these beers back to back is actually a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be to judge because I feel like your palate's just affected by like what we've been drinking.
It's tough. What were the 2 Imperials you said?
Greater Good and 603 for sure. I don't know if Jack or Rowe is one or not, but I'm going to put this... it's funny because I'm going to be honest, but I feel like if we just kept drinking more, I just would start putting them towards the middle. Because it's like we already had that. Manny, we were actually thinking of doing... So, listeners, we were thinking of doing more beers than this originally. Like, I mean, in my head, I had like almost... I was thinking almost like 12, but I'm like, that would have been brutal.
I was thinking 6.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna try number 4 again to see if this is better than 4.
Like, I don't think this one's 603 and up, but I'm just going to...
I think I like this one better than 4.
I'm really curious to see which ones are which.
So I think I got mine all figured out.
All right, so my final is...
Yeah, we got...
All right.
That's a lot of beers.
It is.
Do you have any more spooky stories to tell?
Like, digging around. Not, like, directly. I kind of mentioned the thing about the cemetery by my parents' house. I mean, I've definitely been to some creepier I mean, like, have you ever done any of the Newport mansions? Like,
Yeah, when I was
I think it's privately owned now. It actually, I think, was owned by one of the people that was a co-owner or like they were associated, I think, with Alex and Ani, but Belcourt Castle.
Yeah.
In Newport, I went with one of my mom's friends watching me while my parents were on like a trip when I was young. I was probably like 10 or 11. That place was creepy as hell. And it's in a lot of, it was on, I don't know if you got to it, but it's on New England Legends and stuff. Yeah. But that place was legitimately like it's one of the creepier places I could attest to ever walking through in my life. And maybe because I was young and I was like...
You went to Scotland, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to Scotland.
Did you go to any castles
Oh my God. You reminded me
of
that.
Here we go. This guy forgot all about that he went to Scotland.
No, so this was actually in Ireland. But
in Ireland.
In Ireland, I went by a dungeon in a castle that we actually stayed at. Yeah. And definitely, it was really creepy. Vibes. So I thought it was funny. So the women's restroom upstairs at the castle we were staying at was upstairs, like right next to the restaurant and bar where we're at. The men's restroom, you had to go down 2 flights of stairs into a room that was right adjacent to the dungeon door to go to the men's restroom.
That's awesome.
So I was like, basically going by myself down there, and like one guy was like, there was a couple we met from New Bedford of all places, which is super funny when we were staying there. I swear to God.
No way.
This is what happens when my wife starts
across the world.
Yeah. So this whole started why we got to know them and why I knew the dungeon was down here and all this is because Ash mentioned that I play guitar when we're in a castle in Ireland, and there's someone playing at the bar who's an Irish guy. And he's like, "Oh, you play guitar?" And he's like busting my balls. Oh, you play
guitar, boy.
He's busting my balls a little bit. And then I did play guitar. And it's one of my favorite moments ever playing guitar because I literally played U2 in a castle in Ireland, and the Irish guy was like, "That sounded really good. Like you did them well." Like. Kind of deal. So that was cool. But anyways, this couple from New Bedford that started buying us drinks and doing stuff, like it was just funny. We met them like because we could tell they're from Southeastern Mass. That accent, man, you can't get rid of it.
You can spot that.
It's like our accent. Like New Englanders, we just find each other wherever we are.
From Boston, kid.
But the guy's like, "Oh, did you check out the dungeon?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And like, so we went. And he's like, "Oh yeah, there's a men's restroom down here." We checked out the dungeon, and we like walked in the front part of it, but it was very creepy. Bad vibes. Bad vibes.
From the dungeon.
Yeah. Not surprising. But yeah, it was a little... I can't think of the name of the castle. It was outside...
Blarney.
Like Shannon, Ireland. It might have been Shannon that we stayed at, but that was like the last night we were in Ireland on our honeymoon before we flew to Scotland. It was like an epic... Like it was... The food was good. Just like staying at a castle. The grounds were super old and kind of fantastic. Yeah. But so that wasn't like that was nothing like a weird... Just very spooky. Like... Vibey. Yeah, it was vibey.
Nice.
Vibey, for sure. Nice. I was like not looking forward to going to the bathroom by myself down there because it was dark and like the guy, one of the bartenders was like, yeah, like your urinals will flush them. Like just what you'd expect, like
from a spooky, like flush themselves.
Yeah, urinals flush themselves randomly when nobody's there. Sinks turn on and off, etc. He also could have been like, this is the tourist coming from the U.S. and I'm just going to like tease him. But like the dungeon I do know itself was very creepy. And it was funny, like you could go down there if you wanted to, but it had like a full like gate like on the front of it. I'm like, why do they have that on the front of it still? It seems unnecessary, but like I don't know. Yeah, that's just what you do in dungeons. Apparently, dungeons used to be something though. Like the rich people that would have those castles, that'd be like a party gag though. They'd be like, "Oh, let's lock everybody in the dungeon after we've been drinking," and be like, "Ha, go in the dark with the rats," kind of deal, and then just let them out. So
that's a party gag.
Yeah. What about you? Got anything else?
No, I think that's it for my spooky stories. I think I have my rankings.
Do we have to unveil what's what?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I've figured it all out. So
all right, so I think to convey what we ranked as versus which beers were which and stuff, maybe we can just say, like, as I go through these and we unveil which beer is which, we can say just where we had them ranked on our list out of 8.
So
does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
So Nick's got the list.
The big unveil.
So what was beer number 1?
Sam's Jacko Pumpkin.
Oh, we both got that right.
We both got that right.
I had that ranked as number 7.
Yep. I had that ranked as number 7 as well.
Nice.
Check that out.
Nice.
Number 2 was 603 Toasted Pumpkin.
Ooh.
So I had that ranked as number 1.
I had that. So number 2.
And I guessed that is great or good.
Number
it's
2.
Not too far off.
I guessed was giant. Yeah, the giant pumpkin, great or good. I had that ranked as that's my number 2.
All right, so let's keep rolling here. Number 3 was Wormtown Fresh Patch, the one that we both didn't like at all.
Number 3 was Wormtown?
Yeah, number 3 was Wormtown.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought...
That was actually my worst ranked beer.
Yeah. Number 3 is my worst ranked beer as well. I had that ranked as number 8. I thought that was the Dogfish.
You had it number 8? Yeah, I had that as number 8 as well. It's funny, we ranked them like the same so far.
Wait, what was it? The Wormtown?
Yeah.
Wormtown. You guys are blowing it.
Yeah, that was very poor beer. I did not like that at all.
You guys are blowing it.
I mean, I liked it worse than Jacko Pumpkin, which is saying something. Yeah. So, and it's not like it was like a watery beer at all. It just doesn't taste great.
It's just not good.
It's just not good. Number 4 was the Jackaroo, which is my number 2 spot.
So, number 4...
And I did guess the Jackaroo correctly as well.
I guessed that it was the Toasted Pumpkin by 603, and I actually have that as my number 6 beer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why, you don't like that? You upset?
No.
Are you upset with me?
No.
That's okay. I don't care.
So number 5 was Pumpking, which we both guessed that as well.
That's my number 1.
And that was my number 3.
That's my number 1. I love
our
Pumpkin.
top 3s are pretty there. All right. 6 was Great or Good Giant Pumpkin, which I guessed is Fresh Patch. That's funny.
Yeah, I guessed that as Fresh Patch too.
That's when we both said Fresh Patch at the same time. That was my number 4, so it was like it was still in the top 50%.
Yeah, that's my number 4 too.
Yeah,
that's
we're very close.
Yeah,
we're very
funny.
close.
That's funny. I had that as my number 4 as well.
All right, number 7 was Dogfish Pumpkin Ale.
Number 7,
and that was actually my.
Wow, that's my number 3.
That was my number 7. My number 6 actually.
That's my number 3. I thought
really
that was
you might like that more than you want. You might be going home, sir. You've won some cans of that to go.
Yeah. Dogfish, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I said that about you before.
Yeah, I did guess that one correctly. And number 8 is Gourdgeous Pumpkin by process of elimination. So that's the Mighty Squirrel one, which fell in my number 5 spot.
So that's what I got that one right. I guessed that one.
Nice.
And it also fell. You said number 5?
That was my number 5 spot.
Yeah, that landed in my number 5 spot too.
That's funny. So our rankings were very similar.
So I had Pumpkin as number 1. Giant, whatever number 2 was.
Giant Pumpkin.
Yep, yeah, as number 2.
Yep. Whatever number 2 was 603.
Yep, I had. So
I thought you'd like the 603 a lot.
Yep, that was my number 2.
Before this, admittedly, my favorite pumpkin beer that I've tried recently is the 603 Pumpkin Ale. And gonna shout them out since they came high on both our lists. I think most people know Pumpkin Southern Tier is pretty big, but 603 is just New Hampshire's. I think it's New Hampshire's area code. So handing my list to Josh.
Because I want to make sure I get this right. This is the.
Oh, do you want the list of the actual?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
So Wormtown Fresh Patch.
Wormtown, that surprised me that Wormtown fell that low on there. I would have thought Mighty Squirrel was going to be... Mighty Squirrel and Jacko would be my... Jacko by Sam's would have been my picks for probably what I thought would have ranked the lowest.
So Wormtown Fresh Patch was number 3. That's my worst. Yeah, that's my number 8.
Yeah, that was...
The Dogfish Pumpkin Ale, for me, that landed at number 3. Pumpking, we know, was number 1. Number 8, the Gourdgeous Pumpkin.
But we both had the 603 as our number 2.
Yeah, was number 5.
That's why I was shouting them out.
Yeah. 603 was good.
Yeah, 603, I mean, they're distributing a lot around here. Like, if you're listening to us and you're in the New England area, I think they're generally pretty easy to find.
Are all of these besides, like, because I don't know where Southern Tier brews, but are all of these local?
So... Let me recite. So Sam Adams obviously is Boston. 603 is New Hampshire. I don't know where in New Hampshire. Wormtown's Mass. Reklis is New Hampshire and Bethlehem. Pumpkin Southern Tier, I think, is out of Colorado.
Yeah, something.
I might be wrong about that. It's definitely not around here.
Yeah.
Whether they have breweries on the East Coast, I'm not sure of that. Greater Good is around Worcester. Dogfish, again, is basically Boston now. I think Mighty Squirrel is somewhere in Mass. I forget where, though. So they're mostly
everything's
local.
Mostly local.
Mostly local.
That's pretty impressive, though.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
I think the local breweries are just starting to snuff out like everybody else.
Yeah.
I was actually impressed. So I saw a bunch of Rhode Island breweries when I was up in New York in that East Branch Organics place.
Yeah.
Like, trying to think of who. Blank right now. Oh, Proclamation was up there.
Yeah.
Saw a couple different Rhode Island beers. Gray Sail. So they're starting to distribute like even way up there.
Wow.
But I think it's just good breweries all around. One thing you can say is you can pick pretty good, decent pumpkin beers just off the shelf, just picking random stuff because they'll taste.
Because where did you get these?
Variety of New Hampshire and Mass and just
but where like gas stations?
Pretty. I mean, I went to Reklis and like in Bethlehem to get the pumpkin beer because I was just going by there after hiking one day. There's a liquor store on 44 right on the Dighton line that has just a pretty good selection of craft beer. And then I got these in Seacon, like the last 3, like
Douglas.
It wasn't a Douglas. It's not like a chain brand, but I got the Gourdgeous Pumpkin, the Greater Good, and the Fresh Patch, all from that.
Yeah.
And I've just been saving these every time I cross a pumpkin beer. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
I mean, like I said, the only one I wouldn't recommend is number 3.
Yeah.
That's the only one I wouldn't recommend.
Which one was number 3 again?
I don't remember.
The Wormtown.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
We're not going to get sponsored by Wormtown. Yeah. It's okay. But
that's all right, Wormtown. We don't need you. You guys are going to go bankrupt soon if you're going to keep putting out beers like this.
The thing that was most off-putting about that beer, like you hit the nail on the head when you said, but it had the aftertaste is like a Budweiser or something, which is like they're just not using good ingredients. I would take it because, like, I mean, and Josh, I want to make it clear. He's drank a lot of the beer I brewed. Yeah. You look like I was going to say something crazy, but but it doesn't have that aftertaste. That like sort of weird.
It doesn't have that
musty aftertaste. Yeah. Like I don't know what you'd call it.
Because if it tastes like you just put a bunch of like allspice into a Budweiser. It's not
it doesn't taste that great.
It's not good.
Well, we'll have to post some pictures with this one or some links or something. But hopefully this is enjoyable to listen to. We're God knows we're having fun right now.
We had a great time.
Time to make some food.
Anything else?
I don't think so. This is cool.
Yeah, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Behind the scenes PUDs thing. Been on a marathoning of podcasting today.
Back to back, baby.
Yeah, back-to-back podcasts. So the previous podcast you're listening to is one that we just did.
We care about getting content out to the people. Yeah.
And it's nice to be in the same room together.
Yeah.
I missed you.
I missed you too, buddy.
As good as it is to see you in cyberspace.
Yeah. It's much better in person.
Yeah.
You'll be over at my house tomorrow for dinner.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to it.
For any of those, we're not those celebrities that don't hang out with each other.
Yeah. We definitely spend time together.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. Bibbity boppity. Give me the zoppity.
Bye. PUDs Podcast was produced and recorded in Black Cat Studios by the Pud Boys. Find us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving us a review and subscribing. Find us on social media, and we'll see you next time.